what is the fascination? I mean, it's a very interesting the whole process that you don't know how to read, then you do know how to read, and
Yeah.
then you know how to read better. What
It
is?
feels like it just happens, doesn't it?
Yes, that's the way it was with my children. All of a sudden, they were reading.
Yeah. And unfortunately, for 20% of our kids in our school systems, on average, that's not the case. In fact, I was one of those kids that struggled with reading as a kid. And so my fascination with reading became the fact I had struggled with reading. And I wanted to know everything that I could do so that when I did step into the classroom and became an elementary school teacher, I would know how to help these kids that were struggling with reading.
How do you help someone who's dyslexic learn to read, or read better
Yeah,
than they? Yeah.
that's a great question. So it all starts from the very, very beginning. There are skills, their brains are wired just a little bit differently. So a lot of them will struggle with what we call phonological awareness. And this is being able to just hear sounds properly and be able to blend them together. And so when I say the word cat, I might say cat. Can you guess my word? A kid with dyslexia that has had no training is going to struggle with that process. And you can see then how that will play a part later on in their reading, because that's the process we go through. We look at C, we say that this is going to make a k sound. We look at the A, we say this is going to make a, and we say see the T, this is going to make t, and we blend that together, right? Well, if you couldn't do it just listening to the sounds, and now you add on the second layer of seeing it visually, and maybe some of those letters and sounds are moving on you, or you're not seeing them in order, it really makes the entire process a lot harder for them. So they do need a little bit more phonics instruction, but they also need a really strong phonological and phonemic awareness program in place.
What overall was your impression of the ability to teach kids to read in an inner city?
You know, I became a third grade teacher just because that was the position that I had signed on up for. But reading became the passion because they were struggling so much, and everything to get books in their hands and get them to love reading. It just came natural to me. It was just something like I loved reading. And I just wanted to, introduce these kids to the whole new world of reading that it opened up for me. As soon as I could start understanding what reading was, I wanted to pass that joy and that love to them. I also knew how critical it is for kids because if you take a look at the statistics, 70% of the people that are in our jail systems struggle with reading. And if unlocking the door to reading and literacy can be a game changer for them, for that not to be their future, I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to make that happen for them.
So, how did you get on the internet?
Well, I actually tried to start when I left the school system. I was going in and out of the hospital and was trying to take care of my health, and started 5 businesses the year after I left the school system. I failed at every single one of them. I'm proud of it because I know that those that fail succeed the most. So bring it on if that's what it takes. So I actually, leaving the school system, I really didn't know anything about running a business, right? Because I knew how to teach kids, and I knew specifically how to teach them how to read, but I knew very little about this skill called running a business. And so those 5 businesses taught me so many different aspects of the business, like how to market myself online, how to use social media, how to put systems into place that are going to help you reach the goals that you are looking to reach, how to collect payments, all those kinds of things I was learning in that year before I started tutoring. And when I launched my online tutoring program, I already had so many great skills that I could draw upon to become successful pretty quickly in my first year.
And then you finally got into tutoring. How did
Yeah.
you decide that that's what you were going to work after?
It was like one of these epiphany moments I had. I was laying in bed, and all of a sudden I was thinking about, you know, how I was using Skype at the time to work with some of these different businesses, and how I had learned already how to use Skype. And I thought, could I teach kids to read over Skype? And so I started thinking, I'm like, this could be it. I could be doing some tutoring online.
Joanne Kaminski, what's the future of online tutoring?
It is only going to grow bigger from here, I have to tell you. I mean, the pandemic showed that for sure, that it opened the doors to people's eyes that it can be done. And there is a difference between virtual education and one-on-one tutoring. Virtual education is where the kids are, coming to the screen and their classroom teacher is talking to them. They're not very engaged in the entire process. They might not even have their camera on. But one-on-one tutoring is so completely different, because we have the opportunity to engage with our students right from the get-go.